Hello everyone, I hope you're having a lovely day. I hope you're doing well. My name is Jack, you can also call me PikaTROD, and I'm here with my Season 1, I hope it's Season 1, JJDL draft. I'm your coach of the New York Medichams, the underdog team, but the team that's going to come out with the championship at the last second, come out with a miracle, just like the Mets, or the Medichams, I should say. So, what is a Pokemon Draft League? If you don't already know, there are plenty of other videos to explain it. I can link a couple in the comments, but essentially, I've got a team, other people have got a team. We pick a team of 9 to 11 Pokemon. Our opponents do the same. We can see each other's drafts, and then we build each week and prep for battle. So, hopefully you guys enjoy this sort of stuff. I'm happy to make it for myself as a time capsule, but of course I'd love it if someone enjoyed this too. But yeah, let's hop on into our draft here. First thing we got, round 1. I was pick number 11. I'm in a 16-person league. Pick number 11. Not the best thing in the world. A lot of things tend to go. Your Chanpows, your Chi-Yus, your Palafins. I'm not actually sure if most of those had been picked up by the time the draft had gotten around to me, but I was not deterred. I knew I didn't need any of these big hotshot high pointers. I could go for something simple, something that would wall out the competition, and that is Galarian Slowking. Now, Galarian Slowking's got a nice spread. It's terrorizing OU at the moment, but not because it's blasting through everything. It's because of its amazing, just general bulk and typing. Having a reliable grounded poison for toxic spikes is always great. This generation got access to chilly reception, so I can get up to hail and get out. A great pivot, especially when things like teleport are not around so much this generation. Its move coverage is amazing, from Blizzard to Eerie Spell to Flamethrower. Psychic and Poison are just good general stabs to have as well. Yeah, there are a ton of things that I can run, that I've seen other people run, that I'm excited to run. Something that people are this is a mon that's going to force a lot of prep. Something that people are going to have to be ready for. They're going to have to know how to take it down. They're going to have to be ready if don't feel like running Assault Vest in 1 week and instead want to run a Choice Spec set, because why not? So, very excited that I got to nab this thing round 1. Very excited to get to use it. As you can tell by the thumbnail, the draft snake came back around to me, and I decided I've performed this isn't my first league, even though it's one of my first leagues uploading this to YouTube. I have used one of my favorite Pokemon to use is Mega Diancie, but obviously very illegal at the moment. What's something I can use that puts me back in my comfort zone? And what I found is Enamorus is sitting right there. It's got a base 106 speed, so it's able to outspeed a lot of different Pokemon. If we go down the list, there are a lot of things faster than it, don't get me wrong, but this thing still has access to its item, so we can slap a Choice Scarf on there if we want to outspeed the Iron Jugulus and Walking Wake. It's got 2 pretty good abilities, Contrary for a physical set if you want to run Superpower and play rough, and Cute Charm in case I want to be annoying, so we've got both those things going for it. And yeah, this thing's moveful, what drew me to it especially was that base 135 special attack set. That's the same as Fluttermane. That's the same as all these other massive attackers. And so, be ready for this to come in, start clicking Choice Scarf Moonblast, Choice Specs Moonblast, Pixie Plate Moonblast, and that base 115 attack stat is nothing to slouch at either. Easily can steamroll a game with a Superpower play rough. And so there we have the duo of Galarian Slowking and Enamorus, which I'm super duper excited to bring to you. And so, with those 2 picks out of the way, I wanted to start to build my Fairy Dragon Steel core, my Firewater Grass core. Obviously, I was looking for some solid Hazard Setter, Stealth Rock, Spikes. I already had my Toxic Spikes, which was good. But something I was looking at was Heatran. And so Heatran would have made a wonderful complement to the team. Got picked round 3. So kind of slammed my head against the desk for that one. This draft, I have a habit of making my draft plans way in advance. And usually I can sniff out mons that aren't going to get sniped. This draft I was not good at. Things were getting picked out from under me left and right. And so wasn't able to get Heatran. That was a disappointment. Had some other steel types I was thinking of. Iron Treads I think got stolen right after I picked Enamorus, so that why I wasn't going to be able to get. But I had my eye on this other Pokemon that I had seen used, and that is Cyclozar. Now Cyclozar in this format doesn't have Shed Tail, so I'm not going to be able to do that, but it's still not going to be able to do that. But it's still an incredible Pokemon. It gives me some more speed on top of Enamorus with 121 base stats. I can run it Regenerator. It has a not terrible special attack stat, but most importantly, it kind of forms that Regenerator core with Slowking. It's another Pokemon that has a lot of pivoting with U-turn. I can just put up subs, I can hit things with knockoff. It's a great utility mon, so I wanted that in there. It gives me something to bounce off of with Slowking. And gives me just a nice, immunity to Shadow Ball, immunity to ghost types running around, immunity to grass and water and fire and electric. So very excited to try out Cyclozar. This is my first draft in this generation, so have not tried these Pokemon before, so very excited. Oh, and of course, it gets Rapid Spin, so Enamorus won't have to worry about those Stealth Rocks. I won't be forced to run Heavy Duty Boots every week, so that's something that I'm really excited for too. Right after Cyclozar, I was looking at my team and I said, what's something that Enamorus is not going to be able to blast through? That Slowking doesn't just deal with. And what I'm looking at is I see steel types. I can see the future. I'm a little bit clairvoyant that way. And I'm looking at steel types and I'm looking at fire types. And I'm going, Enamorus has moves to break through them, but doesn't always want to stay in on them. And Slowking doesn't, it can tech on a fire move, but it doesn't want to every single week. And Cyclozar can come in, but once it's in, what's it going to do? So I decided, looking at the ground types that were left, that were around, I could go with Dugtrio. Now, Dugtrio I've used once in the past, in a very different league, so I'm excited to see how it performs here, but I figured with all the pivoting I already have, especially the Slowking, Dugtrio would be a great pick for me. Its specialty is, of course, trapping in my opponent. So now any fire types my opponents want to bring, any steel types, any electric types, they're going to have to think twice before bringing them against my battle. If they really want to run, if you have, let's go with, Regieleki's a terrible example. Let's go with Regieleki. Someone drafted Regieleki. If they want to bring Regieleki, they need to be aware that Dugtrio is going to come in and stop it. If they want to run Shed Shell so they don't get trapped, that's fine. That's one more Pokemon that's getting hit by Stealth Rock and Spikes without Heavy Duty Boots. So Dugtrio is just another mon that forces a lot of prep. It gives me my first Stealth Rocker, which again fits into this whole I'm going to force you out. You don't want to stay in to take this Moonblast. I'm going to force you out, and you're going to take that chip damage, whether it be the Toxic Spikes or the Moonblast that's coming off. And then, of course, it just gets, this thing mostly just Earthquakes and Sucker Punches. Not the deepest move pool, but, we're going to work with it. We're going to see how Dougie, old school trap and kill, so we're going to work with it. From here, I'm looking at my team, but I wasn't satisfied with just Dugtrio. I wasn't satisfied with just trapping those steel types. I want to make sure I can get in and get out of them. I want to make sure that they don't ever feel safe. So I ended up going with Rotom Heat for that one. Another old school draft pick, old reliable. This is a Pokemon that's lost access to moves like Defog, but it still has a bunch of nice tricks up its sleeve. Nasty Plot is something that makes it a real offensive threat. Overheat can come off at any time. Nice base power stab. I can run it heavy duty boots. I can run it with a berry. I can run it scarf. Now I have 2 good Pokemon that can run choice scarf to keep me in the speed competition. And also hitting a speed tier that I haven't gotten before between the rest of my Mons up to this point. So very nice to have a Rotom. It's an electric fire type that's not weak to ground type moves, so that's something that it and Slowking don't have to share in common. It gets the pivoting I want to, so if a water type wants to take the overheat, I can just Volt Switch out into Slowking, and the cycle all continues. Switch out again, take more chip damage. So Rotom's a Pokemon, I'm not sure when the last time I used it was. Very excited to get another go with it. Now I've got 2 cores in the works. I've got my Fairy Dragon Steel core, and I had my Rotom as the start of a Fire Water Grass core. Now, what I really wanted with Rotom is Quaquaval, another Pokemon with U-Turn, a bulky ice type that could heal up with Roost and Rapid Spin. Quaquaval, I think, got picked for me this round, which really stunk. But it's okay. We roll with the punches. Quaquaval would have been great as a rock resist. It would have been great because it was a dark resist also, which is something that Slowking doesn't particularly want to deal with. And it could hit a lot of the ground types and steel types that I'm still worried about. So, in the name of continuing my Firewater Grass core and not to squander any of those traits, I ended up going with Chestnut. Now, Chestnut I have used before. Super duper reliable Pokemon. All these things about hazards and just forcing Pokemon out with that base 122 defense stat. Anything that can't hit Chestnut really can't hit Chestnut. You can make it last on the field for a long time with Leech Seed and Spiky Shield. And honestly, that role is enough for what I need from this Pokemon. But it doesn't just do that. As of later generations, it's gotten the move Body Press, which it did not have when I was using it. You can tell how long I've been in this game. Make myself sound older than I am. Body Press is a great tool for offensive pressure. If I want to get that recovery, I can use Drain Punch. This generation also got Trailblaze, so that Belly Drum set, that if I want to run a Belly Drum set, or if I want to run even a Choice Band, or if I wanted to run a Choice Band set, if I want to run a Life Orb set, it's not reliant on a Slack Berry or just hoping I outspeed opponents. And again, it provides all that synergy. One of the things that really sold me on getting Chestnut over another grass type like Wo-Chien is this bulletproof ability. So that my 2 ground resists aren't both poison weak. They both are poison weak, so if I'm facing a physical poison type, I'll have to be careful. But A, I've got Dugtrio here to take out any poison types, and B, most poison types have to choose between Sludge Wave and Sludge Bomb. And so with Chestnut here, my opponents are forced to not run that 30% chance to poison move, which is just another thing that they're going to have to keep in mind. Keep them all on their toes, which I'm very happy about. So now we're entering round 7. We're past halfway through the draft. I've got to make sure I'm clearing up all my holes. I've got a Firewater Grass core to complete. I've got a Steel Dragon Fairy core to complete. And I'm looking at the points. We got 120 points. If you guys want to check out all the points for these Pokemon, I can link the Discord in the description. But I had a lot of holes to fill, and I was looking to see what was left. Things were getting picked out for me left and right. I mentioned I mentioned that I had a ground type in Iron Treads that I wanted earlier. And I also was looking at the types I hadn't filled out yet. Dark, Water, Ghost, Ice, Steel. So, I hope I spelled this right. Crocodile. Crocodile was the Pokemon that I ended up choosing next. Crocodile with great 2 abilities, Intimidate and Moxie. The thing that it lost this generation was knockoff, which is really, really upsetting. I was really hoping to get a dark type with knockoff. But with these moves, it still gets crunch for a powerful dark type stab. It still gets earthquake just like Dugtrio, but it's something that can come in more reliably on rock types, which is something that the rest of my team still kind of struggles with. It's another stealth rocker, so Dugtrio doesn't have to come to every game and try and get up stealth rocks. It's not a Pokemon that wants to stay in a lot of the time. And it gives me another like strong attacker, which all these Pokemon are solid attackers, but Crocodile can be a designated attacker every week. Another Pokemon with some tricks up its sleeve. It gives me that dark type to keep other teams from running stored power. Hopefully no other stored power sets besides my Slow King running around. But yeah, added Crocodile to the team. I'm not sure if I love it, if I'm being totally honest. I might try and switch it or Dugtrio out at some point, but we're currently in our like grace period, so we can make trades. I don't think I will though, because it takes a lot to rearrange a whole team, and I want to see how the team plays first. Is after a lot of thinking, that's kind of what I'm going with. I'm just gonna type in a bunch of Ditto so that it's easier for me to look up these Pokemon in the moment. I didn't get to draft Ditto, unfortunately. Another fun mon to use, but I'm looking at the everything, and something that if you're getting into Gen 9 draft is that the number of Rapid Spinners and Defoggers is really, really small. There was a Rapid Spinner, I was gunning for Fortress as my Steel type, and that got picked by someone who already had a Steel type, which was pretty upsetting. So I turned away from Rapid Spin unless I wanted Tatsukiri, and I started looking at Defog. And a Defogger that I found that would be super cool was Hisuian Braviary. Now, first of all, Hisuian Braviary clears up this like 65 speed tier, which I don't, well, Chestnut 65, never mind. It's another powerful special attacker, which besides Enamorous, I have a lot of special attackers, but not wall breakers like Hisuian Braviary. It has a nice HP stat, so it can complement, so it can take hits that I don't want other things taking. Enamorous is a flying type, but doesn't have flying type stabs, so I can run my air slashes, I can run my hurricanes on this guy. Another Pokemon that has a lot of pivoting, but also because it's one of these new mons, it gets Esper Web, which is 80 power and 100% chance to raise the speed by 1. So this is a Pokemon that can clean up games if people aren't prepared for it. It's already a type I had, but there are already 2 types I had, but it adds some utility that those other Pokemon didn't. It gives me another ground immunity, which, you know, besides Rotom and Chestnut are nice. And all in all, again, needed that Defogger, so pick this up. Hopefully it works out for me. I'm excited to use it, you know, new toy syndrome and all. If there's a new toy, you want to grab it. But rounding up the lineup here, speaking of new toy syndrome, I grabbed Basculegion F. There were other water types I was looking at. Maybe I should have grabbed them, but I really wanted my ghost type, and I wasn't seeing anything else that fit the role quite like Basculegion did. Nice solid water ghost type, last respects, another move that's banned, but this Pokemon is super hard hitting with adaptability. Unlike its male counterpart, it has a serviceable special attack stat, so it can run Shadow Ball. Its HP and defenses are good enough to take some water and ice type hits, which I really need. And so this Pokemon, I think I'm really excited to use it. We'll see how it goes. The last 2 are Pokemon that one of them I've used before. They're both lower tier picks that I was super excited to get. I'm glad I was able to pick up both of them. First one being Berserker. One more here's my Steel type for the team. One more U-turn Pokemon. One more Stealth Rock Pokemon. A Pokemon that, again, another deceivingly bulky Pokemon. You can slap a Resist Berry on it if you want to live the Mystical Fire. From Fairy types, you can slap an Aqua Berry. If you want to live just general special hits, you can hit the Assault Vest. And it just hits like a truck with Tough Claws and Steel Spirit. The reliability of this Pokemon is shocking, and so I'm super glad that I'm able to snag it again, pick it up. And the last Pokemon, the one that I've been thinking of since the beginning of this draft, hoping it'll become like a pseudo mascot, is Glastrier. When I picked up Chilly Reception from Slowking, which sets the hail in this generation, I really wanted something that would complement it. And I thought, what's the best thing that would complement the Trick Room, Snow Setting, Slowking like Glastrier? It doesn't get as much credit, but I think that makes it even more fun to use. It's got monstrous base stats. It's super duper bulky. 110 special defense is nothing to laugh at, and 130 defense in the snow is ridiculous. Couple that with its decent HP and its amazing attack stat. And under Trick Room, this thing's going to go nuts. Not under Trick Room, this thing can take out any ice type it wants. This thing can take all the hits. I just want to see... Avalug's defense is 184, so this in snow is basically a mini Avalug that can actually hit hard, which can actually hit back because it's got close combat. It's got Icicle Crash. It's got Heavy Slam and Body Slam and so many slams. It has Healing and Rest. It can boost its speed, which maybe I want to run speed boosting. I don't know. It's got 30 speed. I probably don't want to do that, but that's okay. It's another Pokemon that can just come in, outbulk the other Mons, claim a couple kills. If I need to run heavy duty boots, that's fine, because this doesn't need an attack boosting item. But I've got the removers now to support it. So, this is the team. This is the underdog team of the New York Medichams this draft. I'm super excited to get to use these Mons. The battles should be coming weekly. I'll try to upload them weekly, so please come back, visit, see my side of the battle. I think that, commentating live while battling will be new for me, but I think it'll keep me accountable and keep me playing on my A game. So I'm super excited to do it. I'm super excited to have an audience to watch. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you around. Hope you have a great day. Peace.